All right, and this is a post-editing me, hopping in here real fast just to say that I was either bad allergies, a little bit under the weather when recording this, still am a little bit, so a little bit off on my sound and all. I do mute anytime I have any sort of issue, so you shouldn't hear anything other than the fact that I don't quite sound right. So hopefully that's not too problematic or distracting. The other thing I want to say very quickly, when we talk about the Dark Angels Battle Force, I quote the points of their Terminators about like 180. It's actually 235 because I was looking at the wrong unit. So they're a little bit more. That box actually ends up getting you just over 1,000 points actually. All right, now into the actual episode. Sit back and relax while you listen to Train Kickers podcast. I'm Dave, and along with my co-hosts Dan and Steve, we're taking you all around the world of miniature wargaming. On tonight's episode, as for anyone who is watching on YouTube can see, we are going to be discussing the Warhammer Day reveals that they went through. So there are a few different groupings we're going to go through, talk about them in general, models, all that sort of thing. As always, like I said, for the last one, is these are probably a little bit shorter just because of people's current time constraints and all, but going to be trying to get you some other things as well. Now, on to the show. All right, people who are listening will be happy to hear that Steve doesn't have to hide out in his car tonight, which is an
Yes, my
improvement.
audio is much improved.
It's so sad to hear
although
that too. It's like it sounds like he's homeless. He's not. We promise.
I'm
We
not
don't know that.
homeless, just home challenged. That's not true. I'm doing fine, everybody. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I was about to say, we're like, but he's not. Like, we don't truly know that. I mean, we assume he's not, but no. All right. So, they said we want to go. Did anyone actually watch it live? The reveals and all.
I didn't realize it was happening. I'll be honest, for a long time, the Warhammer Community website's just been too much information at once, too many articles per day.
Oh, they fixed that
Once
for
it
you
was
the
no
other day.
longer like my actual paid job to do Warhammer, I absolutely checked out and stopped checking. It's just too much to keep up with.
I said, don't worry. The other day they fixed that for you with the too much information.
That's true, because pages just don't load now.
Yeah, it's working
You know
okay
information.
today. Today, honestly, it's fine. Its overall design is worse. I don't know who does their web design, but there's a few between aesthetic, use choices, and catering to audience that they do not do a good job on, like font size and stuff like that, let alone other problems. But even that stuff is problematic. But it's working today. That was the, for anyone who wasn't following at the time, that was the great irony of it. Normally this stuff, they announce it. Well, okay, they announce it, but also you can find all about it on Warhammer Community. Oh, maybe I missed it. Let me see what time it was at. Oh, let me look at some of the reveals. Let me try to catch up where I was. And you got a 500 error, like all day yesterday. So you actually, they knew about it, but you couldn't look at any of it. So if you didn't either watch it or go back and watch the Twitch or someone else who had watched it and like VOD'd it or something like that, you didn't have access to it for quite a while. Actually, I watched it on Twitch like an hour after it was done or so. And two children, I'm sure, kept Dan away from anything in a live format.
No, usually I just put it on my phone and like put my headphones on and listen.
Yeah.
That's usually what I end up doing.
Just tune out the kids.
Yeah, pretty
Good way to do
much.
it. All right, so we're going to go through and discuss the sort of things they said. Like I said, talking about both between models and different things for rules. So we're going to go in their order. So if you're following along, if you're watching along, you can see it. Otherwise, if you're listening to this on a podcatcher, we're just going in order they did, which we talked about before this for what it is, for the very first one, which is Underworlds. I didn't realize until they said it that Underworlds had been around for 7 years.
I still don't believe it.
And there's 52 warbands.
Now, to be fair, whoever does the sculpting for Underworld does an amazing goddamn job. I absolutely love, like, I had a couple of them actually. My favorite one was the Ghost Shroud, the Beast of Chaos before they got nerfed from Sigmar.
Okay.
But they had a Beast of Chaos one that was just really, really neat. And they had really cool rules in Age of Sigmar too.
Yeah, I know a lot of that they removed. So in the current edition of Sigmar, if you had a war, if you already had a warband, it's probably gone from your rules. Almost all of them were. But if you had not yet received your warband, then it is in your rules. So for my Ozark Bone Reapers, the Tetra cohort is an actual official unit in our army because when AOS 4.0 came out, they hadn't existed yet. But anyone who previously had theirs, like Cruel Boys, all that kind of stuff, nope, it's all gone.
Thanks.
So this is Ember Guard, which one, they're redoing. It's a new edition of the game, which have either of you guys actually played this at all?
No,
I
I
think this
can't
is
comment.
the third edition now, right?
That's why I wasn't sure. The way they taught it almost sounded like it was only the second, because they're like, oh, we're doing a new edition because we've been out for 7 years.
Interesting, because I thought they had this whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, you no longer make special cards, right? Like it was just here's your card set, that's what you have. No longer, a card from here, a card from there, sort of stuff.
All I remember
I
is that
thought,
people were angry that their warband got removed from Age of Sigmar. That was really the only thing I remember.
Yeah, but that's more
Sadly.
of the AOS part of it. So
Yeah.
I know originally the problem was, for anyone who didn't know anything about this game, you pick up a warband, and cards were universal then. Some cards were universal. So maybe there's this really great card and it's in this particular warband, and that's the only spot it's released, which means if you want it, you'd have to buy those models to get the official copy of the card. Now, if you're playing with your friends, proxy it or print out a fake or anything like that, like we do in Magic. But if you're playing something official, yeah, that you'd actually have to get it. I don't know if they did a new edition when they redid that, but I know they did it where now it was much more of just card packs rather than cards in the packs.
I did
But
not know that.
yeah. Oh yeah, that was a big problem with this at one point. Like if you wanted to be like real, if you're
It reminds me of who else had that? Star Wars had that problem.
yeah, X-Wing had that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, where certain cards were in with the ship. There though, it's a little bit easier because the ships at that time you're looking at like $15 maybe get you multiple copies of the card that you want. Here you're talking about buying a box with multiple models to be able to get maybe you want a particular card.
Eesh.
It's just bad. It's bad game
No,
design.
no, it is.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to
FFG
defend
had
it.
that problem as well. Through like honestly, all their Star Wars games kind of had that issue. But I know they changed that a bit, and now it looks like with the way they're talking about it, it's much more. There are 4 like neutral decks, if you want to think about it that way, and then your faction has their own rules. Not that they have a deck. The way it sounds like they do not do that anymore. But you take one of the 4 types of decks with your army, and that makes up what you do. Each army has one of the 4 archetypes, and each of the deck is one of the 4 archetypes. So you could match. You could go like Sentinel with Sentinel, or you could try not to match, and maybe there's different synergies there, as they said, to surprise your opponent. They also mentioned how they are removing the board card you had. If you had anything other than models before, just throw it in the garbage. None of it helps anymore. I guess it used to be 2 boards the way they talked about it. Are either of you actually still there?
I'm here. I'm watching the video to the side. And
Oh, okay, got it. No, that's fine. I saw Dan turned his video off for a second, so I assume he had to run and go do something for a second. I suppose yours is only an Iron Warrior, so
that's fair.
you were
Very
Iron
stoic.
without, but I wasn't sure if you were there within. So, yeah, they went down to 1 board, so now you're effectively getting right into combat or into the action immediately the way they taught. But the way they mentioned, and I don't know enough to speak well on this, but the way they taught, it sounded like the board, okay, it used to be like a double board, and now it's a single board. But my guess is the actual board size is different because they talked about how your old boards no longer work. And if it was before just kind of like multiple boards together, well, now you just have 2 boards you could use instead of just playing it for 1 game. I have a feeling they tweaked it just enough so you can't do it. Which is very GW. Maybe we should take a look at some of these models for Emberwatch, which they're all down in a mine, apparently fighting over some explosives. I don't know the name of the first guy, but he is. hate him, and I think it's his face. Have you looked through any of these models yet?
A little bit, yeah. I
Hey, yeah, I'm going to mute when it
it's
happens so people might see it, but they won't hear it.
I think it's the heavy metal style and the face.
Oh, the face is bad. For anyone
Heavy
watching
metal
this,
tilting on faces is always
Okay, listen. Their
Okay.
faces are 50-50.
yeah, 50 bad and 50 worse.
Good.
No,
No,
not good.
No, I've seen some
I
good
would not put
faces.
50% at good 10. 10. That man, okay, I understand that he is, all right, he's a Sigmarine, so he's not necessarily, genetically enhanced or whatever you want to say. But, obviously, okay, they chiseled out his features. Fine. They also gave him the world's beadiest eyes. Like, for anyone,
He's
for
got
anyone
coked out
wanting
eyes.
to paint for a little bit of thing on this, if you ever actually look at a human eye, you'll notice when you look at a human eye of the person is surprised or anything like that, that your actual iris covers from top to bottom. In actuality, it rounds out. If you actually look at it, it probably eats up at least 50% of the space for your eye, maybe even more, depending on exactly how where someone is looking, say position, all of that. One of my problems with this guy is when you take a look at him, they look, maybe it's because they did it, but it just looks so tiny and small, and it just makes it look like he's, I don't know, very intently looking, but his face doesn't support that sort of look. The armor wise, I'm fine with, but that I'm just not a fan of him. He looks doofy, but I like Sigmarines with helmets. I think that's just a better look personally.
I remember we
I
all
like
thought they
everything with
were
helmets, to be quite
ghosts.
honest.
What'd you say, Steve?
I remember when we all thought Sigmarines were ghosts.
Oh yeah,
What?
because none of them actually had heads. It was
Yep.
all
Yeah,
it
remember
was all
First Gen
helmets.
Storm against Eternals, Dan? Back in the
Remember.
foundational days of Age of Sigmar lore.
You're telling me that GW changed the lore? Gasp.
No, it has nothing to do with the lore. That's what people thought.
Oh.
Because
We
none
thought
of the
they were like
models didn't have
ghosts
helmets.
put
There was
into
no
armor.
non-helmeted head. So everyone just assumed it was essentially, Full Metal Alchemist. You're actually just, soul in an armor, a la also like Rubric Marines.
Interesting.
Yeah. It took a while before they actually came out with someone who showed they were alive. That second model is surprised. I don't know what surprised him, but something surprised the hell out of that guy. Again, it's the eyes. The eyes bother me. Like,
You know what it is? You know what it is?
What?
It might also be the painting.
There's
We've
no
talked about.
eyebrows.
It's the what, Steve?
It's the lack of eyebrows.
Yeah. I will admit, eyebrows can be a little bit tough. You usually want to go, whatever tone you want, go a little bit lighter than that. Because you don't want them, like if you do black hair, you don't want staunch black eyebrows unless they're super, super thin. Because otherwise it's going to read a little bit too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But that, I don't know if it was intended, but he actually looks scared to me. When you look at him in the face,
But they
like
shall
that,
know
he's
no
afraid.
fear. Oh, wait, that's a different thing.
He's a little different. This guy knows a lot of fear. He only knows fear.
That's a joke for the old peoples.
That's just a 40K joke. That's not an old
No,
joke.
that doesn't exist anymore. They took that out, remember?
No,
I shit you
I
not.
think it's still talked about. It's not
There's
like,
no rule. They got rid of that. I
no,
think in
okay,
8th
it's not a rule, but it's still like a known thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
No. They don't know it. They don't know fear. It's not a known thing. It's a not known
Oh,
thing.
boo.
And the
Boo,
thing is
bad
fear.
joke.
It's a known unknown instead of unknown unknown.
Yes.
Getting those
That's
boondocks.
a bad joke, and we should feel bad.
Deep cuts. There's a third model? There's a third model. How to make me move? Don't I just... Oh, come on. There it is. See? The third one is better. Has a mask on. Holding a giant crossbow. I like it.
Looks really good.
Yes.
That crossbow's
Like,
massive. The
well,
recoil from
yeah, but that
recoil
guy's
on that
massive, and that's
thing.
fine. He's bracing his foot up on some wood. Like,
It
I
reminds me of
like
that
it.
stupid anime. Can't remember the damn name, where it's like this guy has his bow that he shoots and it like arcs like for a mile, and he pulls it and like all the back muscles ripple and everything. Like the bow is like something with like 800-pound tensile strength or something stupid like that. And he shoots it and essentially like it arcs across the sky like a mile. And I'm trying to remember what the hell that anime was, but that's what it reminds me of. Like a stupid, like massive, ridiculous anime like bow.
Is his sidekick a small child that's actually like 30,000 years old or
He's
some dumb
old.
shit?
Oh, that's what you, no, it isn't. Thank
No,
God.
no, it's a cat. Okay.
It's a cat.
And then they go to Skaven, which Skaven are always good. The little rat with the bomb strapped to his back, and a helmet to protect him, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the rat is attempting to commit suicide, like duh, you gotta love it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say, I do love their 40K. Don't get me wrong, but goddamn, their Sigmar stuff just hits all the time, or like a good portion of it at least.
Um. Yeah. Oh, I think partly because you only have one faction of effectively Space Marines for all intents and purposes, where in ours you have the normal, and then you also have Chaos and all of that, which are
Yeah,
just Space Marines with spikes and a little bit extra. But you can really kind of with this setting get real weird, and I feel they do, especially because of the high levels of magic and all. Where in 40K, I feel a lot of times at least is a little bit more grounded. Tau looked like an alien that you could understand. The
to an extent.
ratlings
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
show look like an alien that makes sense. I know, okay, they're like demi-human or whatever we'll call it, but they make sense. Here you can get kind of real wild. Other than like say Tyranids, but like that's pretty standard sort of army.
Standard, quote unquote.
Yes, well, bugs,
I know what you
space
mean. I
bugs.
know what
That
you
is
mean.
the thing you see all
Space
over the
bugs.
place. Yeah, that's not a new idea. Little guy in the wheel, looking great. And what's the last one? Yeah, see, when I watched this, I wasn't able to view all of it because I think I was driving at the time, so I was more of listening than watching. But even there, the one guy, he's obviously holding like effectively a grenade. The other one is,
To be fair, it is Skaven. Skaven is
My
like
mummy.
just absolutely insane when it comes to like nonsense.
yeah, what? That's got to be some sort of smelling apparatus on the end of his nose, I would think. For the one with the Edward Scissorhands. But
Necrons have invaded what the mortal realms,
oh,
and
because
that
it
has a
looks like he's
flare
got flayed one
virus.
claws.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you wouldn't have said that for all the green that the Skaven have.
But
No,
they've
no,
always
it's
had
just
that look though.
just the
Okay.
hands.
And plus, all the green is more of from, essentially the stones and all that they're trying to get. It's not that they
Yeah,
themselves are
true.
green, kind of thing. So that's
Very
the
true.
Ember Watch and Dicket's Tunnel Pack. Yeah, and then they talk about the decks. There's Assault, Sentinels, Plunder, and Cataclysm. Your army is one of those. Your deck is one of those. And then you put them together in apparently fun and interesting ways. I don't know. I've never played the game. I'm sure it's actually fun. If it's been around for 7 years,
Like I'm sure it's hilariously great. Just no one plays it around here, so I just don't do it.
I think at
You
one
know?
point they did. At one point several years ago, I saw a couple people playing it, but they tried it like once or twice, and they didn't after that. Especially now we have Kill Team, so like we're just doing that instead. Um, yeah, it said after 7 years, the decision was made to streamline the game. So if they've done a previous edition, they didn't call it that. But I also like because they specifically mention making sure you're not locked into a hand that you can't use. So my guess is that was a problem. So, or any, let's face it, we probably already own stuff that counts as a team. Is anyone actually going to try this?
Eh, if I have the time and a free Saturday, sure.
When was the last time you had a free Saturday?
That's a very good point.
When's the next time you're going to have one?
Equally good point.
Equally good point.
Never.
No, exactly.
Hey, kids
18
grow up. They turn 18 at some point.
years.
They do.
All right. From that, they go to essentially just Age of Sigmar. So they take the small and go to the large instead. So, taking a look at this. Oh yeah, Slaves to Darkness are getting their battle tome. I, for one, am really happy I don't have my battle tome yet. Because, yeah, I'm sure it gets me some stuff, but that means I don't have to pay for rules yet.
Yep.
Which I'm enjoying a lot more.
I saw little slight anecdote, not about this, but I saw kind of a sad Reddit post from someone who works in a game store. And he was like, it's kind of heartbreaking to explain to a parent who, whose kid started playing Space Marine 2, right?
Yeah.
That here's a starter set, but to unlock the rules, you need to buy this book, right? The Codex,
Yeah.
which then goes with the free app, but you need a subscription for the app to play with more than one list.
Yeah.
That's,
There's a large barrier to entry that many
yeah,
other current games / current game design does not do.
yeah.
Well, even with Kill Team, they gave you the base rules of the factions for now.
For now.
And they gave you the core rules to the game, but not the full one. If you want the full one, you need the book. So I have my book and stuff like that. But the other thing, I should say one more thing about Underworlds is they said essentially this is now the starter for the edition, which means you're not getting a new starter set every 6 months, which means we can actually keep up with this now. But Slated Artists is getting their stuff, which is fine. I don't believe they were one of the crazy top tier things. So I don't remember exactly where they fell in the stats, but hopefully it does
Remember.
good. Yeah, I've listened to stat stuff, but I look at more of what was right near the top, which was Night Haunt and Ruminant Realm Lords.
OCR popped up for a slight bit, actually, I saw.
OCR popped up because they did well in a tournament in like Poland. That's
okay.
the only reason why.
I'm assuming you're talking about like, what is that website called? MetaWatch? Is that what? No, not MetaWatch. That's GW. Oh my God, there's a website I
you can
look
watch
at.
GW's one, but no, it's the one that Honest Wargamer puts out.
Yes, that one.
Yeah,
he posts on Reddit, so that's why I'm like, is that what?
Yeah. No, and effectively, like I said, it was a multiple crawler list that happened to like win a sizable tournament, but otherwise we're in like the middle, and like it's fine, but not like a top tier like some of the others now.
Got it.
All right, they got a new Chaos Lord. I do like the Sorcerer Lord. I do like the sort of.
I love this model.
I like it. It's well, I was gonna say just it looks so simple. Like it looks very simple in design, right?
It is
not a lot of pizzazz, but it still looks damn good.
I like the subdued nature of it a lot.
Yeah.
Two things I feel getting over designed, and this is simple, effective, and it hits.
And you would think because Chaos usually gets over designed to like the nth degree and back. But this is actually pretty damn neat.
Chaos in 40K, I think, gets over designed. Slaves to Darkness and stuff like that, I don't think usually does. They usually seemed a little more subdued. It's more like Flesh Eater Courts that goes a little bit crazy since they're people who think they're still Bretonnians.
They're still one of the. I know Gavin loves them, but yeah, they're some of the coolest models. The lawyer dude is still one of my favorite models.
They were saying it on the stream. I believe that's the model they're talking about. They said that's one of the one that still has some of his sanity. Like he kind of knows what's going on.
He has moments of lucidity.
Yeah, but he has to act more insane through it so he doesn't get found out.
And he also doesn't lose his goddamn mind. Wakes up and he sees what's going on. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. They showed their Gargoth Raiders, so they are getting their, I guess that's their box that they're getting, which Cav is always Cav are very good this edition. Just about any Cav is actually quite good. I don't like their normal human people. Like I don't know.
Not cultists, Marauders.
I believe.
Am I thinking Old World? Are they called Marauders in Sigmar too? Trying to remember.
That's an example of a kit that looks great, but I don't want more than one of that kit because the poses are so.
I was gonna say they're mono pose.
Extreme. You'll immediately go, oh yeah, there's two of this box here. You can count how many boxes there are by looking at the poses.
Yeah.
Especially because they are unique enough to draw your eye, but you're not going to be able to do anything else with it. So I will know, I can notice that, Conet, the barbarian, the red head in the back, second from the far end, that's a very unique
legally
looking.
distinct.
Yeah, it's well, yeah, it's a very clear model to see, which means if you have three of them, I could tell them very easily. Like Warhammer Fantasy works because my base troops all look like the same dude. So it doesn't look too weird to have 30, 40, 50 of them. When you look at, say, I don't know, say the Source Warriors. Even new Source Warriors, they all kind of look like a Saurus. You have some extras there that they have enough similarity to look fine. But these, each one kind of looks a bit like a character, which means it's going to be odd if I have 2 or 3 or 4 of them standing out
I'm
there.
surprised. Okay, I know they were going to reuse the sculpts because the sculpts are from an old the other kit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I'm surprised they used it for this. They could have easily, what is it, like 6? Well, no, they could have, I don't know. They could have easily turned that into like an actual like retinue squad or something. So it's like an HQ, they all come together kind of shit. But whatever.
Well, I think this is their, standard non-heavy armor guys. And that's essentially what they came out with the squad. I know it also has some characters and all. If you play Slaves of Darkness, I'm sure, yes, it becomes the second spearhead that they get. So they have another one as
Does it
well.
mention how many spearheads the code? I keep saying codex. Does it mention how many spearheads the battle tome gets or no?
Not that I saw. They did
that
talk
I'm always
about
curious
people. Some people get to win a greater demon if you've signed
I
up
did
for
apply
their
for that.
newsletter.
I absolutely applied. Oh
I
yeah.
had to check. I think I am. If not, do it. I don't believe it said Skaven have theirs. I know Skaven one's already out. I'm not sure how many's in it though. My guess would be 3, but honestly, I don't really know. I haven't seen it. I don't know anyone who has it like in their hands, and
Yeah.
I definitely don't. All right, they move on as will we to Kill Team, which I know. Dan, have you decided what Kill Team you're building?
No, so I'm okay. Let me explain for the audience. I
You're indecisive.
very indecisive, but I'm stuck between essentially two, it's technically 3, but it's 2 kill teams, right? Because I
Okay.
wanted to do Soul Drinkers really bad. That would have been my reason to do Soul Drinkers. And it's weird because I thought they would have given Space Marines a librarian, right? Because they gave them a captain. And a captain is actually more important than a librarian. So I was like, oh, okay, there's got to be a librarian. But they didn't. They just gave him the captain. And it was kind of
didn't come
weird.
with one.
True.
Yeah.
True. So that kind of scrubbed my ideas because I wanted to do Sarpedon essentially, right? So then I was like, oh, let me do the Warpfire cultist then because those are the Thousand Suns. And I could just do 1,000, I could do 1,000 Suns, but really it'll be Soul Drinkers, do that. But then I didn't like the way the list looked. Like it was like 3 sorcerers and 3 dudes, and I'm like, that's kind of just boring. And then the other one was Death Watch, like just kind of screw the idea of Soul Drinkers and then add Soul Drinkers into the Death Watch stuff, but do Death Watch.
Yeah.
But all of the shoulder pads are out, like not discontinued because I could also find them somewhere else. But a lot of the shoulders are not on the website and or just missing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so every
They didn't
army
redo it when they came out with the Death Watch box and all?
No, I thought they did. That's why I was so excited. I was like, oh, I could do
Right.
Death Watch, and then I could do Soul Drinkers like with Death Watch, but then also do Blood Angel shoulder pads, like have fun with it. You know what I mean? Have like an actual kill team. Nope, it's MIA. So I was like, oh, neat. Okay. So yeah. Uh, I am now at the maybe I should just wait to see what else they release because they did have a roadmap of everything else they were going to release, right? I remember this.
Did you watch the roadmap stuff they did?
Yeah, but that was a couple weeks ago,
No.
right?
Then you didn't watch. Okay, the roadmap was, hey, you got more stuff coming.
Oh, wait, didn't they have like a whole ass chart of like what's coming out?
You can go back and find the chart.
Oh, was that the one where everyone was like, this wasn't a preview?
Yes. I did a video related to it. I'm sure they told us a little bit. They probably told us about this box and they said some other stuff is coming. They, unlike past roadmaps where they really detailed out what you're gonna see, this most recent one was not. It was effectively a sales pitch of pay attention and follow for more stuff to come.
Yeah. Okay.
But this one, so we just got the one with the Tempestus and the Vespids. This one though that they're showing, um, it just honestly it just looks fun with the orcs and the ratlings.
Oh yeah, of course.
So now actually finally having ratlings back. Otherwise, you used to. I don't know if they still sold the ratling sniper, but I know that's the only model that existed. But now you got a whole bunch of them, and they're actually pretty fun. So this is brutal and cunning, coming at who knows when. But the whole big thing with this they mentioned, which I think is really great, they're split reasonably equally between close combat and ranged type models. And the close combat models don't like the range models because they're getting all the kills before they can get to close range. Because it's all effectively rockets. It's all tank busters type thing. Like the boss knob has a rocket pistol, which is just a pistol handle with a shield on it and a rocket on the other side. As well, like a crazy
I see no
camera.
problem with this. As an orc, I see no problem with this.
I don't know in here if they mention it, but they do talk about rules wise how when you get to the actual tank busters, that you can use the weapon essentially exploding the rocket or not. And the way they talked, it sounds like there is a downside to you. It's a breakable demolisher. If you use the rocket, people are like, well, if you're an orc, you should use it anyway.
Yeah. The downside is I don't get to see thing go boom.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what those rules are going to be. They didn't really say, but the way they taught it kind of sounds like so you're going to do something really bad to your opponent, but also something to yourself, which is hilarious.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, and the Breakaway Crusher, I really do like that. I like that he looks like he's just got two pulverizers on the end of his hands, or where his hands used to be. He might not have arms anymore. It might just be those. He might have
It's
got
an
them
orc.
surgically
Who
replaced.
knows? Who knows? It's an orc.
Yeah, but they look properly menacing. They're not overly goofy or anything like that. Especially when you watch, like, if you watch like the Tithes, they had the one with the orcs. Like, yeah, they're a little over the top, but no, they are something to contend with, which I think they did a good job with. Yeah, tank busted gunners. Yeah, they have a combination of close combat and ranged. I don't know if I feel like painting more orcs, but I do like the look of these. I think they did a good job with them. And squigs are always hilarious. Bomb squigs are always great.
Always.
He is
Period.
looking dead killy.
Yes. The one has like a piece of armor strapped to the top of his head so he can get there with his grenade, which he has the pin pulled in his tooth.
Orc ingenuity, baby.
Yeah.
Orc ingenuity.
Hey, if you believe it works, it works. Oh yeah, they gave them tanked up. So whenever a friendly Rekka crew operative, excluding the bomb squids, that has an engage order performs a fight or shoot, add 1 to its AP stat until the end of the next phase. So you get more AP when you're hurting people because you're getting all like I said, tanked up or revved up. You're all excited to actually go out there and fight. So the whole concept is they are going after like I think they say bunker or whatever. So then you get a bunch of ratlings. Like I say, they don't give commanders to ratlings, and ratlings are apparently known to just beg, borrow / mostly steal. You'll notice they all have giant hobbit feet, like the
Just
main
like
leader,
the
he has
original
Cadian armor.
sculpts.
Huh?
Just like the original sculpts.
Yep. The only original sculpt I know of was the sniper. What are the ones that they have?
No, there was a Rattling squad.
I don't know if I ever saw that.
In metal, probably back in the day. I feel like I remember seeing a Rattling squad.
Yeah, they were a sniper unit.
Yeah.
And we have seen some in Necromunda
Okay.
where there's the one that has the giant pot of soup.
Yes, actually, now you mentioned, I do think I know that one. They show their leader, the fixer. They show the guy with the beefed out sniper rifle. Hard bit. They're just very characterful. They're not overly done. They are reasonably simple in terms of the sculpt. In other words, they don't have tons of extras on them. Yeah, they have ammo and sort of belts and like pouches and all, but they're not like covered in other stuff. So I absolutely do love that about them. I like the more simple design they have of these. Bomber, he looks a little weird, but I get it. You know, if you're doing bomb disposal, you would wear a big heavy clothes like that. He looks like he's in Hurt Locker.
Pretty much.
Stash Master, just carrying all kinds of stuff on his back, a big old like lunch pail looking thing. It looks good. I guess they always had giant feet. I never noticed that before. Yeah, their Vox guy's a Vox thief because he obviously stole that from somewhere. And Battle Mutt. Did you guys hear the rules for Battle Mutt? What it does?
No, I did
You
not.
pet him and you win, right?
I wish. Hey, he's a strong boy too. Look at him. So Ratlings are going to essentially have an ability that when you approach, they can leave because like that's their thing. They're sneaky. They're going to get away. The Battle Mutt apparently has some sort of ability that when he cries out, right, like when he does a battle cry or something like that, everyone on your army gets to walk away. So essentially, he's going to give free movement so people can probably disengage. It's probably a few inches, but to try to get you out of close combat.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yep. That's yeah. After here it is. The rule is Scarper. Okay, sure. It says after each enemy's operative activation, before the next operative is activated, you can perform a free dash action with one friendly Ratling operative, excluding Bulgrin, Ogrin, or Sneak. But it cannot finish within 3 inches, so you can get free dashes away. A dash is 3-inch move. So after the end, someone gets the dash. Each friendly operator can only do this once per turning point. You cannot do after final activation. And they give some other rules about it, but I know the dog lets everyone walk away.
Nice.
So you can try to keep your distance, which is they're all ranged. They essentially said these guys will not melee at all. So you get some cool terrain. I have to say, we have a couple painted sets of the terrain at the store for some of the other ones. They actually do look really good. They're reasonably bespoke. Like the way they do Kill Team now, you can do like a generic mission or generic place, or you can play one of their battle zones or battlegrounds, whatever you want to call it. And there, they'll actually give you like setups of, hey, here's your terrain layout. Like I have it here. It's in the card pack. They give you this thing. So it's okay, hey, you can play terrain layout 6 for this particular thing, but it'll use the exact terrain that was in the box. So there's just different ways to do that, which I do like, but it does mean it behooves you to have some of their terrain. I'm thinking about it because I do think it is pretty good. Overall, okay, no, they're talking about some other stuff. Overall, I do think the models look good. I don't think I want 2 more kill teams. I think that's a little bit much, but I do like it overall. I do think it's actually really neat. And it's a good way for them to add something that they're not going to make an army out of. They're not going to go back and probably make an army of Ratlings. So here's the way they can make 10 like cool Ratling sculpts and do nothing more with it. Did they show... Oh, there it is. The little Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner little
Yes,
scene.
the heavy gunner.
Yes. Yeah, heavy gunner. Sorry. The computer wanted me to try to restart. They got a bunch of sausages. They got a turkey. I know one of the other guys. I don't know if it's this one. If they have a pie, one of them has a pie. One of them is using his his power pack to warm up his tea. Just very fun.
Very British.
Very much so. That's why I probably said it's probably Christmas, not Thanksgiving, because they don't got that kind of thing there. Plus, that's their turkey
Is that
day.
destructible terrain?
In what, the main terrain for the box?
This one they're showing. Like, it looks like wall sections are removable.
Oh, that I don't know. I know they said one of the missions.
Steve gets so excited right now.
He does. He does have a
Destructible
vehicle
tanks.
that pulls apart.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That man, that you have just given him pure life.
Yeah. They mentioned how the mission, or a mission that comes with this guy, is you're playing the normal kill team game, and these guys are trying to get to like a food objective in the middle of the board. And I was like, all right, that's kind of neat. I don't know exactly what that means, game wise, but I do think it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a diorama piece, so not much more you can do with it. But if you like sort of fun models, and I picked up the Conquest pumpkin one, and that one again, it's just a fun model. So
Just a fun model to have around. Exactly.
yeah, the shark's a little much for me. I don't think I want the shark, but all right, those are the models that were brand new. Any additional thoughts on those brand new ones before we talk Battle Forces real fast?
Wait, no. The next one should be Legion Imperialis. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, my apologies. I missed that. Where was it? There
And
it is.
that one is
I scrolled a little too much. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that one. Let's
that
go.
one's something.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you skipped that one.
Completely unintentionally. When I was scrolling, it kind of gave me a little bit of an issue. I got to change some stuff on my computer. I got too much stuff on my computer, so it makes it run a little bit slower. So Imperialis is getting a new book, The Rise of the Dark Mechanicum. They talked about how, hey, Dark Mechanicum's going to be a thing. Horus bought them out. And that you are going to see some new models. That was the Serapos Heavy Stalker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Serperos Overlord Pattern Heavy Stalker.
Did they? I don't recall when watching it. I don't think they showed them next to other models. Okay.
No, but
No,
We know
but
they're
the
small,
artwork shows
but-
them next to some infantry. If you keep scrolling,
Well, in their picture. Okay, but is that do you think that's actual? Is that a picture, or is that you think actual models?
So-
it's a composite, but it shows you the idea of how big it's supposed to be.
and
right?
people have also
Yes, sure.
said that is a Warhound base.
Oh, okay.
So it's
At least
most
a
likely
60 mil, if not
Porphyrion.
80.
So it's a Porphyrion size, most likely.
Yeah, it's in that range.
You're right. Actually, I did hear someone saying it's Porphyrion.
So it is.
This thing's rather large.
Yeah, it is. It is a big boy.
Okay, that's the
It
one
is
thing I wasn't
Chunkmaster.
sure. They always, most of the pictures they showed were kind of just by itself, so it's hard to tell its exact size. But that's pretty big then. That's Porphyrion size.
Yeah.
I know they talk about if for all the horrible weaponry the Imperium has, if they say the weapons you have are illegal, what it does
From the
then shouldn't be that
Mechanicum,
bad.
no less. If
Yeah.
the Mechanicum tell you it's illegal, like that's a little much.
Yeah. But I know they said,
Exoplanar bombard.
yeah,
Like, what is this thing?
war crime.
The war
Or
crime.
warp, whatever it is. Storm laser rays. But then you have like las cutters. I'm very interested in what these things do and if they will ever make the jump. Do you guys think they'll make the jump?
I
The
think they
28
have
mil?
to. Yes.
Oh my god.
So
That'd be-
I absolutely think they will, because they pretty much expressly said at some points when we were doing Imperialis, we looked at the plastic model we have at 28 millimeter size and shrunk it down. Or like when they did the heavy sentinels and stuff like that in the Solar Ox, they said, well, hey, we had it in the small size. Here's just the scaled up version. Who knows which one
Yep.
they technically started with. If they have it for this, they absolutely have it the other size. Where you're going to see it in plastic, probably no. It's probably going to be like a Forge World resin kit, I would think. But
Yeah,
maybe.
because it's Porphyrion size. Thing's massive.
Yeah, but I mean, if they
The
did
ha- the
this,
ha-
it's a brand new thing, which means they put it together with thoughts of what it was. Maybe there is a chance it's not resin. They probably will be resin, but I'd like it
That
not to be,
might be
personally.
the largest kit they do in plastic, because the largest kit right now is the Lancer, or it's still the Gargant, I think. The Gargant is still freaking massive.
Gargants in plastic?
Yeah, the Orc Gargant?
No, it's just the stomp.
Or Stomp.
No,
whatever.
Stampa. No, and a Lancer is bigger.
Taller.
Yeah, the Stampa is essentially just wide. It's a bunch of it's a bunch of piece of
Yeah.
plastic put together. Where the Lancers, the different Lancer types, are just very very large kits. I have one. I think you will. I don't see why they wouldn't. Why are they going to come out with a brand new model, doing all this Dark Mechanicum stuff, and not put it in their other
Mm.
property? Um, I don't think you create. I don't think, honestly, with the way they do things, I don't think they're going to create something for one scale or the other and not attempt to port it over. I think the only reason you wouldn't see it is that they figured out. I wouldn't even say it doesn't work. I mean, they sell like Hierophants and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So if that stuff works, this has to.
I don't think our friends have rules anymore, though. Sad face.
So we got Dire Wolves coming soon then in 28 mil?
That would be cool.
But
They
yeah,
do them in plastic now, so there is always that shot.
true.
Although,
These things are so cool.
yes,
Even if they don't come out in 28 mil, I kind of want some just drop as they are to represent something.
yeah. If you're playing Mechanicum sort of thing on that base size, you could call it a couple of your different larger options. Oh, I'm playing Dark Mechanicum.
Yeah.
This is my,
If that's a 60 mil base, that could be a Vorax.
yeah. Actually, I think it's a really good replacement for a Vorax. Just because also, especially right now, with the way they have the Vorax, they're a little bit tough to put together. And
Yeah.
I know Dan put some together. I think you said they were a bit of a pain.
I put the resin together. I have not had the pleasure of putting the plastic together.
There's no plastics yet.
There's no plastic
plastic.
yet? Then yes, they are an actual pain in the ass. Those gun belt loops will always forever haunt my
The
dreams.
gun belt is the worst part of that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That or the fiddly
But they're
legs.
so cool when they're done.
No, they're amazing. They're so cool. They're probably the coolest damn kit. But oh my god, actual nightmares.
I think
So
they've
if that's
heard of that.
Hey, Dan, how big are blood slaughterers? I know you had one at some point.
I had 3. 'Cause I'm Dan. Blood slaughterers are kind of big though. They're on 100 mils. They're either on 80 or 100.
That's definitely on 100 mil. That's not.
Yeah, no, they're chunk. They're like bigger than a little bit bigger than a Leviathan.
Oh,
How
damn.
tall is it?
It's about as tall as a Leviathan, a little bit taller because of all the spikes. It is wide because the legs.
This will cut it then.
Yeah.
But a Vorax substitute, absolutely.
No, absolutely a Vorax.
Uh,
I'm 100% agreeing with the Vorax.
Get a couple of
substitute.
rotor cannons to strap onto the sides, and I'd say that top gun could be a lightning gun.
Yeah.
To me, like if you're just bringing a cool model, just tell me what it has. I'm fine with that. You don't even have to alter it. Just bring it that way. It's got this thing.
Yep.
Cool. Like it's a fun one, and
It could be the Dark Angel. Oh my God, what's it? Exindio.
Exindio?
Yeah, depending on the size, because they have never given us a model for an Incendio.
Have they? No, they haven't.
No, they've never given you a model,
Oh,
but we do know its size because they tell you the base and things like that. Like we have that part of it. They've always said like kind of make one yourself.
Have they given us the base?
Yes.
No, we don't even have artwork.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
So it's like Contemptor Plus. So it's like about a Leviathan.
Yeah.
And with 6 arms. Well, sorry, 4 arms, 2 legs.
Yeah. But something like this, I would, hey, do it. And if you're worried about it being too short, don't make it a flat base. Put a little something on its base. There you go. Prop it up a little bit.
Rock.
Yeah. Get some tactical rocks under his feet. He'll be fine.
Like go to like CVS, they'll have those corkboard tiles.
Corkboard.
1 foot
That's
by 1
always
foot,
the best.
And it's like an eighth of an inch thick.
Yep.
Just crack one of those things up into pieces, stack it up, texture over it. Good stuff. I really like these designs though. Remind me a bit of Cricks.
It does remind me of Cricks. You are correct in that.
I really dig these, and if we have an army count in this style, oh, I'm in trouble.
Well, probably you think at some point, to an extent, yes, because like I said, that's Dark Mechanicum. They're going to have some of their normal Mechanicum stuff, but they're going to have to give them some, essentially illegal tech, because that's the whole premise. Like they can have things that the other side isn't allowed to use or won't use because of how bad it is. But yeah, I can see the Cricks bit of this sort of like, because it almost looks like undead robot sort of look.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I completely missed those guys at first. But no, that's very interesting to see those come out. All right. So now we can briefly talk Battle Forces. My wallet will be happy. I don't care about any of these. Uh, I will say, I think the way they put it together, the Dark Angel one's kind of cool. The way they put
I
it
think the Dark
together,
Angel one is the best bet, in my
yes,
opinion,
it's a
because it
very.
just has yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it has the Lion, it has the Terminators, it has literally everything you want in a Lion Dark Angel's force,
Well, that's the
essentially.
design. The design
Yeah,
is that these battle forces essentially are detachments.
but what I'm saying is like this is the most detachment of the detachments.
You got to add some words to make sense of that.
Like it, no, it's just it's odd. So you look at all the boxes, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at
And
them
you
right now.
see, okay, you got some Mechanicum, you got
You got a
the
sisters
Necro,
one with penitent
you got the
engine,
Necron, the
all that.
Hypercrypt, and you get a Catan in there. But the Catan one, for example, doesn't have any of the floaty tanks, right?
Well, no,
Or
but that's because it's hypercrypt.
oh, can you not take that in Hypercrypt?
It's okay. We all know the way they do battle forces. Oh, sorry, army building now. It's not that you can't take things. You can take anything you want.
Yeah.
But what they're specifically trying to give it is models that work well with it. So when you think
Mm.
of hypercrypt, it lets models leave the battlefield and come back, but you can't deep strike unless you have an ability to do so. Praetorians, which on the back right of this picture,
Uh,
have that ability. You'll notice the overlord they have in the middle, all that tech around him kind of floating amongst him. That's because he has an upgrade on him that lets him pop out and come back somewhere else. The reason he has a
copy.
unit of, 5 Lich Guard is because they're the type of unit he can lead, so he can take them with him. And then you have warriors because you got warriors. Same, and all the Shard of the Void Dragon, all of those kind of things often have abilities to come in, or in this kind of thing they do. But that's why they do this. Yeah, he has a translocation shroud, they even say. So they built a force that fits what, say, Hypercrypt does. They built a force that Retaliation Cadre does, because Retaliation Cadre is all about suits. So what do you get? You get suits. I just feel like, okay, I think the
No,
problem I have when you look at it, the Sororitas one, it looks like an army, but I bet it's probably reasonably very cheap points wise, and like you'd have to get a bunch more because like there's just some people there with big eviscerators and stuff like that. Hypercrypt, decent amount of points, especially because you got a Satan shard. They're like 270. When you look at the battle suits, it just doesn't look like enough of an army. Yeah, you have suits.
But it's 4 models.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's only
it's not
4
as that.
models.
I don't think it's 2,000, but our
No,
battle
these are
force is supposed
never.
to be two.
No, they haven't
Uh,
been. They have not been close to 2,000 in a very, very long time. You're
the
thinking of like the
custodians one.
mega forces they used to do.
Oh,
They did
okay,
that for
like for
Space
Christmas.
Marines. Yeah.
Okay, because I
Well, no,
remember for Christmas the
no, this
custodians
is a
one was.
Christmas battle force, but they
Uh,
used to do really giant ones, and they were a good bit more. But they were, if not a 2K list, like a quite a big list.
close.
It
Yeah,
used to be like, like $600 was an entire company of Marines.
yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Oh my God, it was like the old Mac. It was like all Ultramarines, right?
You could run it as anything, but they of
No,
course
no, I
boxed it
remember
like
there was an
Ultramarines.
old box back when I was a kid
Oh,
where
that
they
could be true.
sold an actual company of Marines, including the rhinos and everything.
Yeah, 5th edition Apocalypse bundles. Boxy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I wasn't crazy. I remember that.
I
I
was too
remember.
poor for that. Would have been
I
really
think
cool
we,
though.
I think we were all too poor for that, Steve.
I would way
We
too
were
poor
all
for that.
kids. Yeah,
The hell is an
I'm still too
adult?
poor.
Yeah, I know, right? Um,
Jesus.
but the Taiwan, yeah, the problem is it doesn't feel like an army because it's just some suits. You need it.
Yeah.
Retaliation Cadre, it's a great pickup if that's what you want to do. It's not enough. The Inner Circle Task Force feels like an army. First of all, it's probably tons and tons of points.
The
Um,
line load is like 500, 400 points.
is it? I don't know.
Thank you. I don't know because you know why? Can't check it because it's locked.
Yes. But like that actually feel one, it looks slash it feels like an army. It looks like there's enough stuff to say that you actually, have a full army there. What am I
Yeah.
looking for?
I mean, there's a Primarch. That's hundreds of points right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trigger Squad times
He
2,
has to at
hundreds and
least
hundreds
be
of
a
points.
quarter or at least a fifth. He's got to be a quarter or a fifth of the points.
Oh, what do you think on the box? He is 300 points.
Okay. So he's a, oh, wow. He's actually cheaper than I thought. I guess six of the points. I
But
thought
And
that's
he'd
the
be
still
more.
Terminator's like
that's still
what, like
quite a
200
bit.
for 5,
Huh?
roughly? And Terminator's just like around the 200 point mark
Those
for a
are
squad of
what?
5, right?
Those are Deathwing Terminators.
Yeah, those are Deathwing.
So Deathwing Terminators. Give me a second. 180 for 5. So you're looking at
Actually,
360 points worth of them there, and then you have some inner circle.
And there's a chaplain.
Sorry,
there's a
yes,
chaplain.
and there's a chaplain. So you look at 360,
So you're looking at
660. You have 6 of them total. It's 180 for 6 of them. So you're probably looking at about 1,000 points.
yeah.
Just not, maybe not exactly, but pretty close to 1,000 points.
Throw
So
in a
you're about halfway there.
Redemptor. Throw in a
Compared to
Redemptor, a Rhino.
4
Or,
suits.
I missed the title which Steve you said,
Sorry.
Steve, because Dan was talking at the same time.
Yeah, looking at 1,000 points of Dark Angels or like 4 suits, 4 battle suits.
Yeah. And points wise, I mean, I don't know the top points well enough. Maybe it's still a bunch of points, but it doesn't feel like you've gotten close to an army yet with that other one. Here it feels like you got an army. I could probably go get, like a couple other boxes of some stuff and like, oh, I got a force now. Let me get some, some Primaris with like big guns. And then, wow, now I got an army to go with.
get some like plasma gun squad shit
Keep
like that.
scrolling. The
Yeah.
next one is even more of an army.
The next one, 2 of them are as an army. This is literally half an army.
Is it
The,
really?
Valor
Armors are
Strike
what?
Lance, that is exactly half of an army. It's about 1,000
Huh.
points. Yeah. Because some of the armies, the way they've run them is like 8 littles and 2 bigs. Or just about that. So yeah, I think they even said it, if you do 2 of these, you actually have a full knight army. And knights are better than the Chaos Knights. For sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, they both.
Okay, but the Chaos Knights look cooler.
They do look
They
cooler.
do.
They're just so much worse in every way.
They're so much worse in every way.
It's a shame. I don't think I would want to do the army though. Like, if you want to, this is a great way to do it. If you can, try to get 2. Now you have your full army. You are done. I don't know. I've watched some night stuff. I just don't know if it seems fun enough for me to actually do. But that gives you the 40k ones. When you look at the AOS ones are probably better thematically to look like actual armies. But I have my OCR because I'm not really looking to pick up any others. But thematically, I think they're a good bit better. Maybe not the Cities of Sigmar. That one, it looks fine, but that the regular people, that bores me. That's all good. Was it Charnel Grand Jury? That's with the
That's the crazy ones we were talking about before.
yes. Yeah. That's for the Flesh Eater Courts, where the one guy has guts on his head for his wig.
That's the semi-lucent dude.
Yes.
By the way.
Like that looks like a force. Like when you take a look at it, that kind of looks like, okay, you got these 6 Krippars, 6 Morbeck Knights. It feels like you actually have a good starting of a force. You got a character in there, so you have someone to lead it all, especially in Sigmar, because you have to have characters leading your regiments.
Yep.
The Ironjaws, that is the Ironjaws army for all intents and purposes. They don't really have much else. They got a few other things like some boars and stuff like that, but again, that kind of looks like an army. And Shudderblight Cyst, which is Nurgle stuff. I know Dan's been all about Nurgle lately.
No, those are mortals, not demons. Ignore. I was so hoping that they would have flipped because they used to have a demon Nurgle Maggotkin box, right?
Yes.
And this was about 2 years ago. And then last year they switched it, or 2 years ago, I guess they switched it to the mortal one. And I was like, oh, maybe this year they'll do a mix or they'll do like both, right? And I'll be so excited because that's actually, I'll buy that just for the Nurgle. And alas, nope,
Well,
it's all mortals.
They're trying to highlight the newer things.
Yeah. Those
The flies are old though, aren't they?
Well,
No,
some of those
but
things
look who's
are older,
riding
but
them.
the character isn't.
Yes, the people riding them are mortal. So you have you have blight. Oh my god, blight lords on plague drones, which are those assholes, and then you have plague drones with plague bearers, which are the demon ones. Kind of like how you have, for example, Skull Crushers with the Chaos Knights on top of them,
Yeah.
and you have Skull Crushers with Blood Crushers on them.
Saying that's not a multi-kit.
No, it's not a mulligan.
That's shocking.
Yeah, it's really weird because it uses everything the same. Well, no, it's not going to be multi-kit because the stuff on top is completely different. That
Yeah.
it uses the same exact body.
Stuff on the bottom's the same.
Yeah, but the stuff on the bottom is it, but it's a completely different kit. Completely
Huh.
different. Yep.
And then I see
Yep,
the
yep,
Warcry warband stashed away in the corner.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Dave, that was spooky.
What was spooky?
The lights went out. There was just the 3 grinning pumpkins in the background.
Yeah. Or yeah, for anyone watching, my wife needed me to get her something, and that's why she turned the lights out on us. So there's that. She's saying something, but you can't hear it, and I can't hear it because I have headphones on. So it's whatever I say it is. All right, that gives us those battle forces. I like Sigmar as a game, but I don't think I care about any of those battle forces. And the 40k ones, not enough.
The Dark Angel one is neat. I'm not going to buy it, but it's neat.
Yeah, I will put it that. It is neat. If someone wants to do Dark Angels, get it. Absolutely get it. Great idea to get it. I'm not going to. I'm glad they didn't do any Thousand Suns ones.
That's true.
That way I don't have to. So, well, you know what though, when they do
We're
it, they
missing
actually are
one
really
more
good deals.
thing. We're missing one more reveal that I find exciting because it might mean something cool.
Yep. So, they flashed this at the very end. They said nothing other than coming out next year. They didn't give any idea when. Who even knows if they have an idea when? But that is the Emperor's Children.
Mm-hmm.
So they are getting something in 2025.
It's the Loyalists.
Huh?
I said it's the Loyalist Emperor's Children. Yeah.
Something
Right.
purple.
Could you imagine if it's Loyalist? Oh, I would love to be there just to see the people pissed off.
Well, so when you look at the Chaos stuff, the only ones who don't have their like bespoke legion is them. You know, like you have World Eaters for your corn.
Everyone is, yeah, I was going to say.
For that. Yeah, everyone else has their bespoke. They don't. They're the only ones who don't, and they haven't had them for so long compared to the others, because the other ones are not really new.
I think the last time, yeah, it was just almost, it wasn't even a Codex release. It was just kind of like.
You roboted out there. Oh, you're still a robot. All right, Dan went a little robot there, so we pulled it back. He was saying something, though.
Oh, yeah. No, so I was saying, I think it's good for Emperor's Children because the last thing that they had, people could correct me if I'm wrong on this. The last thing that they had was that they had, I think it was a White Dwarf rules,
Yes.
right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah,
No, yeah, it was
like,
essentially White Dwarf rules.
which is kind of, that feels bad. So I ain't even mad. Let them have
Why
fun.
would you be mad? You're acting like
No,
because
because I saw some comments like, "Oh, I hope their codex is just like the Custodes Codex or like the Dark Angels Codex," and I'm like, people need to stop being petty. People need to stop.
Oh, well, I mean, the Dark Angels one they fixed.
Uh,
Yeah, no, Dark Angels are pretty decent now.
Pretty decent. Okay.
Yes. No, they went through and fixed
the
that.
balance. I think the balance thing is very soon too. I think it's coming in. They said sometime October, right?
Yes.
The balance
I
data
think
sheet
they
is
said
coming
end of
sometime
October or early November. Yeah, it's the last one of the year.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah, we know they're doing that, and we know for Sigmar they're doing monthly updates, but they're not going to do full rebalances more than probably what they do for 40k. But that does mean if you're like, say, a Sigmar player and you want to go to a tournament, they might rebalance something you have like a couple days before because they're going to be doing it very often. It's a nice idea, but in practical, it's not so good.
But to speak to that, because this has happened, I do know that some tournaments, when that does happen, they'll be like, nope, we will not be using those rules. Use the previous rules. So I have seen tournaments do that.
And
especially
I think they will. And
Yeah.
I think you will see that. But, okay, a lot of times tournaments do that because there's a big lead up. There's a big build up. Are you going to do, or what are you going to have a policy set out when you're doing your tournaments where they're updating the end of every month? Okay, then I might just not be planning my events to make sure they don't coincide right then, or they go before or after.
True.
You know, because then it starts becoming like a big thing. Or let's say it's just a friendly casual. Let's say it's not even a giant tournament because who cares? Giant
Like a
tournaments
Toy
can do
Wiz.
whatever they
Toy
want.
Wiz does like the really nice casual events, you know?
Yeah, but okay. So in your casual event, oh, I'm excited. I came with these rules because my stuff just got updated. I'm excited about it. Oh, no, I can't use it. Or oh, you had your old stuff. We're gonna update this. Like it becomes a hassle. I think
And
it
feels bad. It does feel
Here's the
bad.
real problem. Everything's digital now.
yes,
So how are you going to go back if you updated your app?
Oh, that's
that's
right.
very
Oh,
true
wait,
as
that
well.
happened
Yeah,
recently. That happened recently. Was that Toy Wiz that it happened to? Oh man, hold on. Now I wish I. Damn, this happened recently at a tournament. I can't remember if it was like a massive tournament or it was like Maplewood or Toy Wiz,
it
where
wasn't
we had a
Maplewood. I run
tournament.
those.
Okay.
No issue there.
Where essentially they had updated the app. People had said, no, these rules just came out like yesterday. We're not going to use them. And people were like, I updated my app and now everything is gone.
Yeah,
And this happened. Oh man, I wish I would. I can't remember. I can't remember.
I think
But
it's
it did
the
happen.
doubles.
I think it was the doubles, right? Wait, it was something like I remember going to it. And I remember I think I'm the one who even brought up the question. Like, so this just got updated and I can't. Oh man, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was. But I remember it was like really shit eats the fan moment, which is never a good feeling.
and it those sort of things absolutely happen. And if they're doing more constant updates, that's going to happen even more. Now,
Yep.
some of the updates they talked about, the way they said the monthly, might just be small things like small balance stuff, not necessarily maybe more of like FAQ style, but who knows? They could actually
Yeah.
do updates that get pushed
Like
through.
full on, exactly.
Yeah, it's possible. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like, and again, they might have said, but you kind of wait and see it.
Yeah, exactly. GW says stuff, and then it's just kind of like, well, we'll see when you actually do it, what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's true of any company. They might have ideas of what they want to do, and then they find out the practice of it does not work appropriately, and we might see that.
Yeah.
But all right, that is the reveals, the showings, and all of that. Steve? What was the best thing?
Best thing?
Yes.
So the thing I'm most excited for, we'll go with that, is
Okay.
that Dark Mech. Because I want to see what's in that book. Because one of the first Horus Heresy books I ever read, one of the earliest Warhammer books I read was Mechanicum.
Good choice.
I know not everyone loves that book because of the pacing and the subject matter. It's not Space Marine Bolter.
I can understand why some people
Chainsword.
won't like it.
Yeah. But that's one of my first exposures. Like, wow, this is dope. One of my early exposures to Warhammer was the book Dark Adeptus, part of the Grey
Yeah.
Knights trilogy, where they ended
Yes,
up on
yes.
a demonic forge world, and it was super cool. So seeing them get dug into in the way that these campaign books are written, I'm really excited for. Because it's not full-on Black Book treatment,
Good
but
answer.
the Legions of Imperialis books are a lot closer to that
Yes.
than other media has been.
No, agreed.
That's
They
a good
are.
answer. I like that
they're
answer.
Much closer in general. All right, Dan, you had to pick something, but it can't be that model.
I was just gonna say I'll pick something else. Honestly, I was gonna say the battle forces. I heard something really interesting. It's anecdotal, which can always mean multiple different things. But I've been hearing how like GW stores or hobby stores have been getting like fucking swamped because Space Marine 2 came out, right? And
Yes.
kids and here's the so I teach middle school. Everyone kind of knows this from the podcast. I've actually heard kids. I don't tell them anything, of course, but I've heard kids actually talking about Space Marine and the world of Space Marine. They were wikiing it and they were looking at models. And of course, I teach someone in the Title I district, so they can't really afford those models. But the fact they were talking about it and excited about it, that stuff is really, really, really neat. So I've heard anecdotal stories of how Games Workshop stores or hobby stores have just been like literally just selling Space Marine product left and right. So that being said, because I think Dark Angels is coming out next in the Space Marine release, right? I think that's the next battle
already have
pass.
their
I want to
stuff.
say.
They already have their
No,
book.
no, 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 no. This is like an actual actual weapons and like designs and symbols, right? I think Dark Angels is next. And so because of that, I think this is perfectly timed because kids are going to like, oh, I want to buy this Dark Angel pass because he looks like a knight. And then you could be like, oh, but have you seen that this has a Christmas box? It's $200 and that's affordable. You know, that's how much parents usually spend on a Christmas baby. So then, he gets Dark Angels into it. So anyway, point I'm trying to make is I like the Battle Force box, at least that one alone, because it'll be used. It'll actually be used. It'll actually be fun. And hey, maybe the one kid that loves Gundam might go for the Gundam, you know?
Yeah.
Or sorry, the Tau.
I heard two things
Tau
there
is what I
when
meant.
you're talking. First of all, I heard your heresy because you don't teach these children about the light of the Emperor. And for the
I no
second
longer do the
thing,
after school. I used to have it. So I used to do
okay,
an after school club. I can't do that anymore. That's why.
why not?
All right, I could, but I never get chosen because it's always now math and LAL and science. So no one really cares about the hobbies anymore. So
No. Well,
yeah,
yes.
there's
At
no.
the end of the day, knowing what's happening with students in general, I agree. They need more focus on their education. But there is something to be said with how you spend your free time and things that hobbying can do for you.
Yeah,
I do
I
think
agree.
that is important. But I've seen the math levels of these kids that get through and know they need more math.
Or
What
they
I,
or they need less because they give them algebra.
no,
I don't
they
know if
need
you know this.
more.
You know they
They're
give them
terrible at math.
they give them algebra 1 and algebra 2 in 7th and 8th grade, right?
That
Not
absolutely fine. Then
pre-algebra.
repeat it again.
They don't. That's that. Then they skip they keep going because they think that kids should be learning algebra at 7th and 8th grade.
I don't think there's a problem with that overall, as long as you're willing to say, one, this student wasn't ready enough, so they have to do it again,
Uh-huh.
or we're just going to repeat it as well. Students learn
That's an
people
adorable
learn through
thought.
repetition. You don't learn math by sitting there and watching math. You don't learn math by sitting in
No,
class whatsoever.
you
You
do
learn math by
multiple
doing math.
problems over and yep.
And not even doing the same and doing a bunch of problems, but not even doing them over and over again. Because doing the same problems over and over again, what that does, practice does not make perfect. Practice reinforces, and you can reinforce things incorrectly. So what you
I
really
like that.
need
I like
is
that.
you
I like
need
that.
time to digest it, learn it, understand it, and then to perform it. But the second thing I heard was, to me, what was one of the biggest misses here. There's no like base Space Marine or, like I said, in my case, Thousand Suns sort of releases. Now, for those battle forces,
That's surprising.
I think it's probably because the Space Marines and Tyranids is the edition box. Maybe that's why. But I think they missed the mark of just like, hey, you love those bugs? Here's a box full of bugs. There you go.
That's what I thought they though. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even put too much thought into that, but I completely agree with you. I'm very, very surprised that that was not an actual thing.
Yeah. I know they did the board game, which has a Titus model, I
Yeah.
think it's just some
But
bugs.
that has a limited reach.
Yes. Very limited.
It's not something that, like, your local store can order, unless your local store is what?
Target.
It's a Target
It's
exclusive,
Target.
right?
Yeah.
Unless it's a Target or a Games Workshop store, and the Games Workshop stores got shorted, like,
Yeah.
big time.
I'm shocked by this.
Yeah. No,
What?
no, usually Game Workshop stores are the ones who don't get shorted. They get everything they want.
Really?
It's everyone else who gets shorted. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here I am, like,
No.
mm.
As far as I know, from all the ones I've talked to, that's usually not the problem. But I am surprised that even if they didn't want to call it a holiday bundle, that they didn't try to capitalize on the game more or the game push more by just saying like, hey, here's a box of just that thing. Here's a bigger box. Let's get you into this game. The Christmas battle forces are lost leaders. For anyone who doesn't know that idea, the concept of a lost leader is you have an item that you will lose money on. And okay, not that GW is charging appropriate amounts for this, but essentially they'll lose GW money on it. You'll lose money on it because of what it's going to do for you in the future. Almost every console release of recent history, not all, but almost all of them, are loss leaders. The idea is Sony sells you a PS5 for less than it costs them to make a PS5. But they do that because then they can get you money on the software and the licensing deals and all
And the
that kind of
games
stuff.
and everything. Yep.
Same thing with the PS2. PS2s and stuff like that, they were sold at losses. Even the PS3 at its high price point. No, they lost money on those. But over time, it will get cheaper, and then you will make the money back, and you'll get it from all the other things. I'm surprised they're not just trying to do that with Space Marine. Just, hey, we'll lose a little bit now, but we'll gain it as they and their friends get into this and get even more stuff. So,
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree 100%. I was very surprised.
but Rattling Christmas is the best thing because it's great, and you can paint a turkey. All right, I think that'll do it for us tonight. We're hopefully going to be back with something next week. I have a few other things I'm working on, but as people can see if they're watching, I would say it's a cold, but I have no other
People are
symptoms.
watching me work on stuff right now.
Yeah, so I think it's more of just allergies kind of messing with me. So I have some other stuff I'd like to record. We're going to find out about that. rumor is we're getting the updates for Conquest on the 14th. They'll be out on the
Yes.
14th. By the 15th, you should have every faction reviewed because I will be working on it as soon as we have those in hand.
I'll join you. I'll join you for Dwagon Old Dominion. Hell yeah.
Hit me up
So-
for city states, dude.
Yeah, that's fine. So that means you guys have to try to fit my schedule because usually on those, I record at random times. It depends. What day is the 14th?
I have no idea.
You could look it up. Though.
That's,
I'm streaming
Monday.
stuff. I can't open anything on my computer. It's a
I
what?
know that's Monday. That's in a week. Week and a day.
On
Monday.
Monday? Okay.
Oh, you bastards.
Well, no. So that means that they do release it. Keep your Monday night open, or try to keep
Yeah.
Monday night or like Tuesday night open, and we'll record those parts, and I'll record the other ones and get those out as well. Even if I just do the brief breakdown, we can always go back and have a deeper discussion of what it means and all that kind of stuff as well.
I'm actually excited for I've heard rumors for Old Dominion.
Yeah,
I'm-
luckily we'll know soon enough exactly what's going to happen, and some of it's not rumors. Some of it they have absolutely said.
Yeah.
Currently, there's actually very little rumors that haven't come from them. Very, very little, actually. Almost everything's been them like popping into the server, saying something, and leaving.
That is true. Hey guys, this is what we're
Sacred
doing.
Band
Bye.
are the next auxiliary, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I adding different types of auxiliary, I think, is a nice way also to get some more use out of those models.
Yeah. Also, we need to get another box or two.
So you'll be seeing some more of that. Once the new updates do drop, we'll have some battle reports related to that. I'm going to be filming some stuff related to Kill Team. We'll still have some battle reports about those soon. Some of we're kind of waiting on until we have some of those updates in hand, but you should see some of that coming out very soon from us as well. And then at some point, we have to start talking some 30K stuff again. We should have to figure out what we're going to talk, especially in this a little bit more abbreviated format. But the hope is to have some other content to kind of fill in the gaps. All right, well, that I think does it for us tonight. So on behalf of everyone here at the show, has a good hobby. It's a great gaming.